Yeah, pretty big. Sort of don't know how to express it really. We were sort of holding on for a period of time there, late in the game, and moments wins you those games, and we had a couple of moments go our way really late. It was a great result.
Second time in 3 weeks, you've said you've struggled for words. It was the Collingwood win.
Yeah.
Do these guys just never cease to amaze you, I guess?
Yeah, it's sort of got a bit better.
Michael, how big's that result for you guys tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty big. Sort of don't know how to express it really. We were sort of holding on for a period of time there, late in the game, and moments wins you those games, and we had a couple of moments go our way really late. It was a great result.
Second time in 3 weeks, you've said you've struggled for words. It was the Collingwood win.
Yeah.
Do these guys just never cease to amaze you, I guess?
Yeah, it's sort of got a bit better as we've gone. I thought Collingwood was all right. St Kilda was pretty good as well, but that one was the best of them all. I think that the biggest one is we're winning different ways, and we've shown a really great adaptability across the year. Lots of questions asked of us, but we're showing that resilience and grit, and we're able to put that into the way we're playing, and you can sort of see that the boys have got some real hunger and desire right now, and they're sort of really clear on what's needed, and just thought it was a fantastic performance. It felt like almost like a finals-like game where we had front half dominance, we had some clearance. They had some front half dominance, and they had the clearance. That all going, so it was just back and forth for 4 quarters, and both teams didn't relent.
Do the fellas owe Caleb a beer after getting his fingertip on the line?
Yeah, it was a lucky rotation at that point in time. Sort of put our little strategy in place late in the game for him to be able to just get that fingertipper right at the end. So I was sitting there just going, please don't overrule this. Like you can't lose this way. Thankfully it was the call went our way, and we're obviously able to hold on.
And confident on that? Did you think he touched it yourself?
Oh, I think so. I've spoken to him. He says that he did. So at this point in time, it doesn't really matter to me. We'll just call it that it was touched, and we'll take the 4 points and walk away.
And there were parallels. I mean, you played them in round 22 last year as well, and a very similar finish. Petrarca almost played the role of Cozzy Pickett, but 12 months on, how significant is it to almost exercise those demons? You've come out on top in a really tight game against a premiership contender, so close to a final series.
I thought we've had moments, throughout the last 18 months where we've learned a lot about ourselves, and that certainly is one moment that we've gone to work on a lot. But what I think we've also done is we haven't looked back as well. We've sort of got on with things, and that's sort of sat in the background, and we've just got on with, trying to find out what our best version is. And that's been a challenge. It hasn't been about the opposition that we've played. It's been about how do we just get better ourselves. And the guys have really gone after that. So it hasn't been about the opposition to us. It's been about how we can get ourselves better and keep finding our best version.
What did you make of that first quarter when you had such a landslide with territory, but weren't able to put it on the scoreboard?
I think it's just sticking to process. We had to tidy up a couple of things because obviously they were going from end to end a little bit too easily at times. I say easily, they only had 3 or 4 inside 50s in the first quarter, but they scored. But I think that's, as a coach, you've got to say, well, the outcome's not necessarily there on the scoreboard, but the process that we're doing is going well, and they were putting numbers back, and we don't get to choose that. So we just have to work our way through it, and and thankfully the boys were able to sort of continue to work on that. We got a couple of early rewards in the third quarter by just persisting with what our method needed to look like. In the fourth quarter, you obviously got a little bit of a gap that they almost dragged back, but it was just two heavyweights, I think, going at it toe to toe for 12 rounds, and we won on points. It was a really good contest.
You said mid-season that your defence was your focus and you wanted to get that right. How pleased have you been the last 8 weeks now that you
really
kept
pleased.
Melbourne at 56 points tonight, and the pressure was red hot all night? Yeah,
and half time, so if we need to win this 44 to 41, that's the way we're going to win it. If they choose to defend, then we defend harder, and that's the contest battle was really even. In fact, it was almost exactly even. So, and if that's what it takes and that's what's needed, then that's the contest we need to be able to live in. And we've had to learn how to play that way and value it and put pride in that. That's the outcome that we're after. And thankfully, we've stayed present to that, and we're getting some results as a result.
You've touched on this a few times in recent weeks, but you've now won 8 in a row, booked yourself a final spot. Is it, now that you have got that final spot and you look back to where you guys were, sitting in the bottom 4 and just not knowing where your next win was coming from, as you've said, can you believe what your team's achieved in a couple of months?
I'm sure I will in time, but I haven't taken a lot of moments to look back. To be honest, I think it was sort of time when we were doing that. And sort of looking at that as a way to say, well, what's next for us and how do we continue to improve? I think now we're about, staying present, staying to each other, what's coming next, and the job's not done. Our job is not done. So we feel like we've still got more to give. There's still more season to play out. There's no guarantee still, and we've got to keep earning the right. So that's a pretty tough message to give to a team straight after we've just won like that. But we need to stay. We'll acknowledge this win. It's a very good win. We'll review it the same way, but when we get into Tuesday, we've got to make sure that we move on pretty quick to the next opponent, and I think we've done that pretty well.
You've now beaten Port Adelaide, Collingwood and Melbourne in recent times. Does the focus change now? Do you guys feel like you are red hot in this premiership race now?
No, not really, because the opponent hasn't been the focus. Clearly every opponent has their own constraints, their own things that they bring to the game that we need to be able to manage. They've got their threats that they need to manage, but it has been about trying to get our game going, really reinforce the roles that we need, have a next man up mentality. We've had some guys that have played really significant roles for us, and they've been game changers for us, and we'll continue to reinforce those and live in that space. So it's not so much about what we've got next, it's really focusing on how we get better and how we can just keep bringing the best version of us. And we feel like we do that, then we can match it with some pretty good sides.
Injuries tonight?
No, Doc was the only one. He was getting tight in the calf across the night. So we let it play out for the first 5 minutes of the last quarter. But no, that was sort of three-quarter time call was, maybe get 5 or 6 minutes out of him and then make that sub. So, yeah, we're hoping that's pretty minor.
Chera and Walsh next week, any chance?
No updates yet. They had a training session today, so I haven't been briefed on that. So wait till Monday to find out where they're all at. Thanks, guys. Cheers.